bumper.
Okay.
Work.
That was the first time we didn't fuck it up, Slacks, until you.
Radiant
I thought he
team
needed a
ban.
noise when he hit the planet. We used to do that. We used to make cool noises.
Nobody sent you the memo. Sorry, buddy.
Oh, sorry,
Axe,
guys.
first ban here from Finem. So you can see the heroes with the red outline are the community bans. The ones that are just grayed out here are the bans and picks from last game. We are running low
10
on
seconds
supports here, gang.
remaining.
Oh, yeah. Things are looking a little wily. Peter, if you
Dire
have to pick
team
one
ban.
non-typical support, what's your go-to?
Radiant team ban.
Any of these like melee heroes, I think like Night Stalker, Sand King, Abaddon, Spirit Breaker, Doom, Undying,
Okay, those are a couple.
Kunkka,
It's like half the
Sven,
heroes in the pool.
Earthshaker.
Okay, you can
There's,
stop.
I think there's a bunch of options still. I think they're fine. I think
10
game 3 is when
seconds
they're really gonna have
remaining.
to stretch.
Yeah. Well, if there is a game 3, we don't know. We could
5
maybe add
seconds
Finem 2-0.
remaining. Dire team
Could
pick.
happen.
We might. Yeah, we might.
Dank. All right, Legion Commander taken out. Nyx Assassin
Radiant
as well.
team pick.
And a Sand King picked up.
Yeah, surprised that the Necro made it all the way to game 2 without Finem. I mean, they've been playing it just in regular, captain's match or captain's mode games. So a smart ban though from OG, of course, and Sand King can't go wrong with a strong laner. Seeing him quite a bit.
I miss the old days when Sand King was like the carry role. Remember that? The greatest game I've ever seen. The Sand King mid Orba Venom maxing Caustic. What a dumbass strat. That worked. It was amazing. Mirana picked up as well. We'll probably see somebody to set up some arrows coming out here.
Maybe.
Who is there?
Shadow Shaman.
Yes, the
X
perfect.
marks the spot. Oh, yes.
Boy.
That's my boy. That's not a setup, though. They both kind of need setups or a blink.
Yeah. And Timbersaw coming out as well.
Oh, Timbersaw. Okay.
Last series, Templar was pretty quickly gotten rid of, and so was Venomancer. We haven't seen anybody touch those yet. Could be coming up here.
Yeah, Veno seems like Veno Sand King, just a lot of magic damage. Big team fight. Finem could go down that road. You've already got the Timbersaw as well. Big frontliner. Follow up on the Sand King stuns.
Sure. Peter, what do you got your eyes on in this drafting pool? Who you think is still pretty strong that we got left?
And I'm looking at Mirana's model, like her face. I feel like that model's really bad, right?
You remember how it used to look? It was even worse before.
She used to be
but I
uglier.
feel like maybe she could use a little touch up at this point.
She looks like that the really stoned girl at the party, The girl that
With big
nobody-
cheekbones.
Yeah, the girl that's so stoned nobody will talk to her because they're kind of worried that something's wrong. That's
Yikes! Sounds like a scary party.
Yeah, the parties
God.
do sound just
I mean,
awful. My
this is
goodness.
just normal stuff.
Where do you party, man? Is that what CU Boulder's like?
That is exactly what CU Boulder parties are like. Jesus.
Razor TA, third band's here.
I'm looking for some Fly Phoenix. That's what I want to see.
Ooh.
I enjoy me some Fly Phoenix.
Very good possibility that could
Could
be
work,
coming
but
up.
we talked about them having more setup. I think one of these like melee stunners is likely, whether it's Spearbreaker, CK, Earthshaker, Sven, Kunkka, something to set up these arrows and like Centaur spells, I guess.
What do you think about CK in general right now? Is he pretty strong? I don't know how much he's been getting played.
I don't think so. I think
No.
he's still kind of the same hero he's always been
Yeah.
and struggles for the same reasons that he's always struggled. And like
Like
a
a-
perfect game where there's no AoE, he can look really, really OP. But in most games, most teams have AoE, so it's not really a big deal.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a broken record here, but my boy, Big Techie's still available.
It's true.
No ban, no
Ugh.
pick.
I really think once we get to game 3, Techies starts to look a little bit appealing. But I think 4th ban into game 2, Techies is still like, all right, guys, we've got a lot of good choices here. Venomancer still looking pretty hot.
But it's
I
between-
think Techies is like only going to be viable probably for the MNT, the maybe next time guy from Finem. I feel like he might be a Techies player.
just because he's a dick or what?
Well, what makes you say that? Yeah.
That's just kind of like his play style. Like he's this like weird position 4 player who just like roams and wants to play carry, and I don't know, he like plays bounty hunter and snipes couriers. Like he's just that kind of a player, which is
Yeah.
a great player to have as your 4 player.
Sure. The
I
green.
can only imagine what their team speak would sound like if they pick Techies. Just every time he goes into suicide, just screaming nonstop. That sounds
Probably.
amazing.
a hero we haven't seen or talked about too much is the Magnus. But when the pools get down to this size, occasionally you'll see Magnus +1. Somebody like a PA who wouldn't normally buy a Battle Fury, give her the cleave, and then all of a sudden she can farm and really carry hard. We've seen that in past elimination mode
Yeah.
where Magnus
Spectre Magnus.
Yep.
Let's do it.
There you go.
Hell yeah, dude. we
Really
got
bad
S4.
laning phase for Sand King Timber though.
Let's go. I feel like Magnus is such a weird hero. It's almost like people literally forget he exists. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes he's super, super in the meta, and then other times he just disappears.
To be fair, Silencer is still in the pool as well, and it is hell to play.
Oh, how did Drought? What?
All
I
right, here we
actually
go.
forgot the Drow was still in it.
Yeah. I just
Community
figured she was
forgot.
banned again from community.
What are our Drow counters? We still have Tinker. We still have like Furion and Enchantress possibly.
Mm-hmm.
A Spectre, kind of.
Spectre, yeah, Spectre could work. Yeah, Spectre's not bad for Ad Finem. They could do like Spectre Magnus, like we talked about.
Yeah. A lot of long range, 2 Blink Daggers, and Timber Saw.
Yeah, there's decent options honestly for Ad Finem up against Drow, but Drow's definitely a comfort hero for OG, and I was not surprised that they picked it up this series. Notel played Anti-Mage last game, a hero he's super familiar on, and then now he's playing another hero that he's super familiar on, so makes sense.
Well, and Finem about to give us some good info here on what their general strat is going to be, probably.
How does Void fare against...
Oh.
Lena.
Oh, no.
Burst
Great.
damage. They have a lot of bursts now, though. Sand King catches one with a stun, follow up with Lena, Timber Saw. Like if Drow gets caught, man, she's dying quick.
Oh, boy, I hope Pipe of Insight is an item that exists.
Oh.
That'd be good to
Oh,
have.
my.
But,
Whatever will we do?
That's been coming out from OG, and that's going to be a Visage!
Oh, my. The old dirty.
Dude, I have been waiting for this. That last patch just really upped every single one of his talents to, I think, a tiny bit into a pretty good area. I'm going to be very gentle. Like talking to my F student who's trying to get a D, but I feel like he could be maybe okay this year. So...
I mean, this
Yeah, I
combo
guess
is still
Visage
annoying
won't be
as
unpicked.
fuck.
Won't
right?
be unpicked this tournament in general.
Yeah, I don't know. I tried playing that here the other day in a pub, and the birds seem pretty underwhelming. But I suppose if you're like a master Visage player, maybe it would work.
They nerfed the damage, right? What else did they nerf though? Anything else?
The birds are weird. They take like AoE damage from like everything.
Oh yeah, that's right.
What? Oh,
They just kind of die like all the time.
Jesus. All right, no.
They should pick Gyrocopter to counter the Visage.
Gyrocopter.
Yes,
Gyrocopter.
he'll definitely
true.
survive in
AoE?
this match.
No Magnus ban
Yeah, Magnus is
with
still
that
looking
PA
pretty good,
fourth
actually.
pick.
I like it.
Yeah, I definitely think that is what's gonna happen. Get that PA cleave on.
I would say Magnus or Tinker.
5 seconds remaining.
Tinky Winky is a little risky here. Couldn't the birds just stun him out every time he tries to TP in the woods? You know, easy scouts.
Yeah, I mean,
for
Tinker against Centaur
Every
is
time.
a little scary.
that.
Yeah.
Every
The birds
time.
are really fast though.
Yeah.
Like they're like 400 something movement speed now.
There's also a Death Prophet that OG could consider in terms of 5-man Death Ball. Pretty stable mid.
I guess so.
Dire team pick.
Yeah, that
Oh,
could
I
work.
was-
Ooh,
Okay.
Storm.
I was thinking Storm might be okay for OG. What else can they pick as their mid?
We said
for
Death Prophet.
Anna.
There's still Leshrac.
Pugna.
I
Zeus.
think we want
Tier
probably
2
hear that right
options, but-
clicks. A ranged here that right clicks. Viper.
Viper.
Oh yeah.
Well, let's
Yeah,
swap.
Viper turns into more of a right click because of Drow, and he's still super tanky. That could be
Arc
pretty good.
Warden.
Oh
No.
yeah.
Oh, yes.
No Tail's the one that plays Arc Warden, so I don't know if that's good.
There we go.
Ooh, the Magnus. All
Easiest
right.
call. Great job, team. We did it.
Yes. Team
Hooray.
effort, everybody.
If only OG was as smart as us.
It's Spirit
Alright,
Breaker.
SB.
Interesting.
Oh, so just Mirana mid. All right,
Okay.
that makes sense.
Doesn't make sense. Why Spirit Breaker here? I mean,
Well, Mirana Visage kind of would have been like a pretty shit support duo, I think.
sure.
I think any
So.
support duo is gonna be shit at this point, for the most part.
It's a little harsh.
Yeah. But
Shit.
I think Mirana Visage is just exceptionally bad. So.
Exceptionally shit. Good.
So does Visage have the power, the old Drow Visage combo? As EE told me once at the summit, the best way to beat Drow Visage is to never let them get both heroes. And once they do, you've already lost. But of
Peter,
course,
join this slot. Join this slot with us.
That was also way back in the day. That was what, 2 years ago?
Might have been 3 years ago.
3 years
but at
ago.
the same time, it's stuck with.
No,
So-
it's very annoying to play against. Honestly, though, I dig on this Ad Finem roster. They've got a lot of team fight. They've got a lot of control. The Magnus PA is it's pretty nasty. Even just being able to empower Lena, you know, she throws some auto attacks. It's not a bad thing to have.
Wow. Is that a thing?
Well, I mean, you could put empower on Lena, yes.
Great.
So it is.
I've never seen anyone do that.
No, you get Ags on Magnus, right? And then the Empower works on ranged heroes.
Did they
Oh.
fix that though? Because they upped the one talent upgrades. That skill, but the AOE doesn't work on the Ags. I don't know if they actually fixed
Oh,
it or
really?
not though.
I
Yeah.
Probably not.
don't think I bought him Ags on Magnus since they changed that.
I
I
mean,
don't
Monkey
think
King
anyone
still has 5 FPS with the ult, so I guess we'll just go with that.
All right. Well, so what are we thinking, PPD? Who's got this? Faith in the Drow Visage, or is this a 2-0 for Ad Finem?
Oh, this is a 2-0 for Ad Finem.
100%?
Yes.
All right. Suns fan?
I mean, you could actually.
I'm gonna go
give-
against conventional wisdom and go with OG. This is gonna go 3 games.
What conventional?
Yeah, what's
wisdom? What does that
conventional
mean?
wisdom?
Go against conventional. Conventional wisdom is sticking to the
Oh, you
analytical
said go
guy.
against.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought you were saying it was obvious that OG was going to win. I was
No.
like, how dare you after that performance in game 1.
Definitely not.
I gotta
obvious.
disagree with you guys. I feel like OG's got it. I believe in Drow Visage. I feel like if they
I
get.
just said that. What are you talking about?
Excuse me?
Yes. So
Lord.
we're split 2-2 here.
I
You guys
agree
are
with
OG.
everyone.
Nobody listens to you, Suns fan. You open
know.
your mouth, we all tune out, and we wait for you to stop fucking jiggling around, and then we go.
I know. I know this is definitely true.
Oh. All right, Zyori, you're the tiebreaker. What do we got?
I
buddy?
already gave my prediction. I said Ad Finem's going to
Nobody
win. You
cares.
son of a bitch.
Idiot.
I hate these panels. Can we get this game going?
They're loading in, Slacks. We can only hurry them so
Oh
much.
yeah, that's right. I forgot. For those of you at
It's
home,
loading.
it takes time. We have a special game mode. Volvo has not released elimination mode in game, and luckily giving us all careers.
You can also watch this game on the handy dandy Captain's Draft 3 ticket.
Yes, that's right.
It's come in handy many a time, and it has once more here.
It still has great sets attached to it as well.
It,
So you
it
get
actually
some sets
does.
From
And it also
4
has some
years ago.
really outdated, cool Southeast Asian content, if that's your cup of tea.
Hey guys,
So
if you're looking for some sick Southeast Asian content from 5 years ago,
you
hit
came,
us up.
you came to the right place. We've got game number 2, Ad Finem versus OG once again. It is Mott and Draskell for in-game casting.
Thanks, guys. Andy, we go from a MNT Monkey King game into my favorite Visage and Drow lineup on the other side. So we got some fun stuff today, Andy. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I haven't seen Visage in a Dota game for a very, very long time. But I will say that I saw Lil tweet the other day about the Visage buffs, and he says, I'm coming. And I'm like, that's terrifying because that man plays a very good Visage, and I'm sure Jarex does as well. So, yeah, we'll see what he can do with it. Like Peter was saying, the birds are really fragile, but they're super fast. So I think that the SB was a really nice last pick for OG. They didn't really have a whole lot of front line and a lot of things to stop Ad Finem from running into you. And as we saw in the last game, Ad Finem do love to run into you. So I think it should be a fairly close game. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, and I think their lineup also kind of lends that to that style yet again. You have the Magnus, who's more than likely, I think, going to be maybe situated. Oh, Spartan's actually playing. He's going to be on the Iron Talon, Magnus in the jungle, perhaps. But you have a lot of run-at-you type of style from Ad Finem with all of their heroes. They want to fight, and they want to fight early and often, I believe. Maybe you get Madara a bit of farm, but do you expect to see Ad Finem run at them again, maybe even earlier this time?
It's a possibility. I think it just depends on how they're feeling. Because if for whatever reason, OG are as dominant as they were in game 1 with the early game, then I think that Ad Finem can always take their foot off the gas a bit, say, okay, we got Empower PA. That by itself is enough damage to be able to carry a game. And
Yeah.
you don't even need like a good RP, because the nice thing about PA Mag with all the other melee heroes is just the sheer mobility that Madara has on the Phantom Assassin compared to some other melee cores. So
Right.
she doesn't really need a lot of help in staying on a target. That was a first hit bash, by the way.
Oh my God, he actually just got that first hit bash. He's lucky to be alive. All right, that was insane. Anyway,
But yeah, I think that Ad Finem's lineup actually scales fairly well, and I think that's why they were suggesting on the panel like the Magnus plus melee hero. It's just so nice because at any stage in the game, you could kind of just be like, oh, I crit with Empower, and 2 of your heroes are just dead.
you're just gone. That's it. It's over at that point. And some of these heroes are relatively squishy as well. They might get a lot of armor, but Drow, Mirana, Visage, they can't take as many hits as obviously the Centaur and the Spirit Breaker can. So Madara gets one of those crits, and you're absolutely right. I feel like there's going to be some trouble. And already, like, Spartan is giving Madara Empower pretty much all the time at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit unconventional, I guess, to see like the pure support mag, but in this lineup, it does make sense. That I think you want the Sand King to actually have a lane because he needs levels and he needs his Blink Dagger at a very, very early point. And looking at the supports of OG, the best thing they can potentially do is just really look to pressure the mid lane or pressure the off lane and just chain charge. I think as soon as Fly hits level 2, he's pretty much going to live mid. Like, he's just going to charge Madara off cooldown and force the Magnus to be out of the jungle as much as humanly possible.
Right.
Or just straight up look for him. Because otherwise, Iron Talon jungling mag, as much as it pains me to say this, I've had it in my games, it does farm pretty fast.
Yeah, it does. We've seen a lot of. I've watched a lot of SEA with Ice 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 and Faceless the other day, and they played a lot of Magnus. And Ice 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 was getting pretty hard lane against him in his off lane. He was able to just farm the jungle at an insane speed with just a Quelling Blade, not even an Iron Town, but with the Quelling Blade, he's still able to do very well. Meanwhile, Burrow Striker into Fly. Skylark is going to have to deal with him for the time being. But like you mentioned, Fly now level 2. We can see some charges happen pretty quickly here.
Yeah, that's OG's strength, and another reason why Spirit Breaker is great against their type of lineup. They do have quite a bit of stuns on Finem, but SB's amazing BKB lockdown. And once the P8 gets BKB, if you didn't have that hero, your only real save would pretty much be Centaur ult, and that's not going to always be available. So I do like the fact that they have that extra hero to just pretty much say, screw you, Madara, we're not going to let you have your way like you did last game on Troll, because that didn't end well.
Oh, there's charges coming in on Madara. They're really going to shut him down as early as possible. Starstorm's going to come in. They have the Soul Assumption, trying to get the kill, but Jerax is able to turn it around. Easy Soul Assumption rather quickly. And that's first blood. Very, very fast.
Yeah, it's expected, though. I mean, obviously Madara didn't expect it, but the SB doesn't have anywhere else to go. Like, he can't really go bottom if MNT and Skylark are both here because it's a double stun lane. He's unlikely to get a kill. The best possible place he can look for a kill is that mid lane, and we're going to see Fly go ahead and just charge away. And I don't think he'll ever charge Thug either. That's just like, it ain't happening. It's a Timbersaw. He's going to run away.
Yeah. Thug should get an okay lane top, but with Fly's kind of spending most of his time mid, this should give Skylark at least a 1v1 matchup, if not a 2v1 with maybe next time. How good is this matchup for Skylark or for S4? Oh, that thought actually. They're going to get a kill mid as Spartan comes in. There's the Shockwave. Wants to get Anna as well. Stifling Dagger is going to go, but Anna is able to leap away. And Anna taking a lot of damage from some of these Ancients, but they're going to go ahead and just shrine back up anyway. So they do help get Madara kill mid.
The 1v1, I think that Sand King normally has an advantage. He's under a little bit more pressure because there's a Spirit Breaker in the game.
Right.
And even though I was mentioning, like, it's not super likely that Fly will spend a lot of time down here, there's always that sense of danger. You know, you're always like, oh, what if I'm getting charged? What if I'm getting charged? And Fly's playing off the map quite a bit. He is going to run past the ward, so they'll have some idea of what's going on. But they are setting up a smoke here. Two heroes rotating towards bottom.
This is a lot of damage if they can get it. They have a lot of setup
This
here.
is a
Skylark.
pretty sick bait if it works.
Yeah, S4. Gonna get Burrow struck. Shockwave will go. They have the skewer if they need it, but it's the LSA for now. The Stomp's gonna go skewer to stop it, and maybe next time gets the kill. Yeah, that's just a really good combination of abilities from Finem to get a nice smoke gank going their way.
Yeah. The way that OG have laned this. Okay, Madara getting charged again.
Arrow.
There's the arrow.
Yeah, see you later. You are dead.
There's nothing you can do. There's actually nothing. It's like, if you're at that amount of HP, you're just dead.
Fly taking some damage. Caustic Finale is level 2, but Fly stops up, and Anna gets himself a double kill. So OG doing a very good job in this mid lane with the gank so far.
Yeah, I think, like, obviously they're farming well. Like, the two highest CSers right now are the Mirana and the Centaur, so the way that they've laned it, it does make sense. I'm kind of curious as what S4's item progression is going to be, because at the moment it doesn't look like he's actually going for, like, the super fast blink, which I thought that they might do, because Safe Lane Centaur just allows you to get that dagger so quick and have the ulti up as well. So you can just get that pick, and with a Drow, you just kill the tower, right? Like, no one wants to really fight if you're 4v5 against Drow Visage, but he seems to be taking a different path. The Hood will allow him to flash farm with Double Edge, which is amazing. But yeah, OG, again, charged up.
4 heroes top this time. Thug underneath this tower, another TP coming in, and the heroes are coming from behind. They're getting ready to set this up. MNT He's going to throw out a Dragon Slave, doing some nice damage to Ana. Good silence, though. No Tail is here, but there's not enough damage at this point. Arrow sails through and misses, and here comes Madar. He wants No Tail, and he wants it bad. Chakram will do most of the job with Spartan getting the kill with Shockwave. Now they want the kill on MNT, fly underneath the tower, but he can't quite find it. Ana trying to get out. Juki is jabbing, will TP home, and they will find Fly instead. So a 2-man death for OG. It's not the best thing for them as they rotate top trying to get that kill. And they'll have to be happy with Drax getting a bounty.
I'm wondering why they decided to go top of all lanes. Like, they just proved that they can kill the PA super easily by discharging. We are going to see a center ulti here as well. Looks like they will find the kill on Skylark in the bottom lane, but kind of wondering why they decided to go for literally the hardest hero to kill on the side of Finem. It did not end up working for them at all, and it seems like Finem just say, okay, well, we're going to do a full lane transition. We're just going to go ahead and set Thug mid. He's got the 4 reactive now, so he's incredibly tanky to physical damage. One downside, though, of Timber is that if you're playing against a high-level Spirit Breaker with a Visage and a Mirana, it's pretty much all magic. So he can still actually die as long as they combo properly.
He's still tanky enough, though, that he might be able to have a better chance than his PA. And Skylark getting dove again, bottom Burrow Strike's available, but still in trouble. The silence will come out. The Gust is coming through. No bashes, though, for Fly, and that might have turned the kill around. Meanwhile, mid lane, some action happening. Spartan's going to fall to his soul assumption. Thug can't help him out. Back down to bottom, no tail. Getting chased. They need an LSA. They need a Burrow Strike. It's going to be the Stifling Dagger first. LSA to follow, followed up by this Burrow Strike. This should be enough damage, and it's worth it. That trade is definitely in their favor, bringing down no tail yet again in that bottom lane.
He's died a handful of times, and he's a little bit behind in terms of CS versus Madara, but they had very different lanes. They sent no tail to the off lane pretty much to 1v1 against the Timber, which I'm sure Drow's like okay with, probably not great. Still the off lane, so you still feel a bit uncomfortable, I suppose, in that position. But you were talking about the activity of Madara, and this man he's just literally running around the map looking for kills.
Yeah, this is like a roaming PA at this point. Fly, jumping on Spartan, Stampede's going to go the stomp. They have double edge, and they've got the kill. They will use the Stifling Dagger onto Fly, but I don't think Madara can get this kill alone. He needs some TPs. Meanwhile, it looks like there's going to be some trouble with Thug. His No Tail's here. No Timber Chain for 2, but he's still tanky with the reactive armor. The charge coming through, but it's more than enough damage with Ana, and that Starstorm getting the job done this time.
And there's just a ton going on the map. It's like these really small fights in every single lane, or sometimes not even a lane, as I guess that was more like around the Ancient area. But S4 has got the hood finished. Super tanky hero. Ridiculous strength gain. And he can just spam double edge pretty much for harassment if he wants to.
Yeah.
And he's got that stick.
He's doing pretty well for himself. Very tanky. Mid lane, they're starting to push in. No Tail and Ana looking to at least get something done here. Thug TPing in, going to clear the creep wave with his Chakram. Also rotating in his M&T with Alina just to help out if need be. So we'll see how things go here. It's slowing down a little bit. They haven't really gotten that much room for Madara because of, like we said, all of that rotations. So they're still doing okay in net worth, however. Skylark's been getting a ganked a couple times, so his Blink Dagger's a little bit behind, I think. But at this point in time, it's still relatively even. Only about a 500, 750 net worth advantage coming out for OG at this point, Andy.
It's not much of an advantage, but I don't think that OG have really reached their truest potential in regards to how they can push. Like, once S4 gets the Blink, and they can start finding pickoffs, that's when you're going to start to see a lot more movement than you've even been seeing in the first 9 minutes of the game. I say that's already been 12 kills, so...
Right.
It's one of those things where OG really have some pressure on them to make stuff happen, because the late game PA with Empower is always going to be terrifying. And they understand, like, the SB is pretty much the majority of the early game initiation, and Fly has actually done a very good job. He's pretty much been everywhere he needs to be.
Yeah.
And now it's just a matter of Finem, can we defend and fight long enough to get the items we need to make our transition?
It's going to be difficult. There's already some ganks being set up for OG top lane as they're maybe looking to put some pressure on this tower. No Tail's coming as well. Charge is going to come through from Fly towards that mid lane, in fact. Ana's pretty low, but they want this kill on MNT. They're going to use the Moonlight Shadow, but it's too late as they're already underneath the tower. The arrow will miss as well. So they're looking for a lot top lane. They have wards, S4. There's going to be the Visage Familiar flying. Bottom lane, Skylark is just cutting the creep wave, so they're not getting anything done on OG. Not yet, anyway. They're still looking to push and just try to find anything at this point.
It should be a tier 1, though. I mean, Finem, they're kind of looking to Skylark now. He's been sitting in the bottom lane. They really want him to get his Blink Dagger. It's kind of like the race to Blink between him and the Centaur. And I think that, you know, given the free lane, they're still kind of even. S4 already has a hood, though. Charge comes in.
Yeah, Skylark, again, might be in trouble. They're going to back off. They're not going to go for it. They don't know who's TPing in.
And
now
Madara
top
as
lane,
well.
Madara is so low. He needs that Phantom Strike to get away. He goes like an inch and a half to get to MNT. He's still alive. LSA goes. It won't hit onto either, so M&T will be the lamb for the slaughter as Madara stays alive. JRX wants the soul assumption. Spartan has to RP. And now the stifling dagger. The arrow, Madara, he dodges it. Oh, he turns it into the soul assumption. Spartan, you just killed your teammate. And JRX will go down to the tower, but that's not the play. Now Spartan's dead. Anna gets a double kill underneath the tier 3 tower. Oh, Spartan, no. Why?
It's like that cold embrace all over again, Mott. He has to kill his teammates. I think there's like some like pent up animosity towards his team. He's just like, no, you're dying. I'm making sure of that.
This is for feeding last game. It's like that type of thing. Oh,
they're the kind of team where I just imagine they laugh when that happens. That's honestly what I envision when they do something crazy like that.
Especially Spartan. Madara might not be laughing, but Spartan is cracking up when that happens. He's just like, oh, my bad. Sorry, guys. Sorry about that. But that doesn't help them in any way, shape, or form. They've now... It's looking a little bit worse than the net worth graph. It's about a 3,000 net worth advantage, and they do get the blink dagger for Skylark. Now he's just gonna use his sandstorm just to make sure he can get out of that. But so they have blink burrow strike now ready to go, and it looks like they're gonna.
It's kind of it's a good thing that they saw the blink, but at the same time, if FM just go for the smoke, which I assume they're gonna do now since they're all sitting at the shrine. They should have some kind of idea of what's coming. So you can see that like JRX is sitting on the high ground, OG are sitting around their own shrine, they're on the high ground. They're not pushing. They're like fully prepared for something to happen.
Ward. That's going to give some good vision. So they know exactly where OG are situated. Are they going to go up high ground? That burrow strike onto 3. They need a shockwave. They could use an RP, but now the Gus comes out as well. LSA will hit onto 2. Jump in. Starstorm doing so much damage. Double kill for S4 with a double edge. They find a third. M&T wants JRX. He can't find him. They won't even get one out of this, at least not yet. Thug now the only survivor for Adfinem, and even though they had great vision, they're running through the entire enemy team, and now Adfinem is about to fall. Centaur Conqueror stomp double edge, a triple kill for S4, and he's feeling pretty good right now.
I didn't actually think they would just YOLO to the high ground, because like the whole point of, like, I get they have the vision advantage. They see all the heroes, like, okay, well, let's just go in. The problem with that is that your Sand King led. And when Sand King leads, he never really gets his epicenter off during the fight. And then they got, like, everyone gusted and couldn't really do anything after that. S4 ends up getting, like, a double kill straight away.
Right.
It was a really awkward way to engage, but that's just kind of Adfinim's playstyle. They don't like to wait. They really want to just go in. They see, they're like, okay, we got vision, we got this. If he started, like, channeling Epi and then went in, I think the fight might have turned out a bit different. But without being able to put in that extra damage, like, you're going in against a Centaur with a hood. A Spirit Breaker who has probably like one of the highest health pools in the game for a position 4 or 5, and you're fighting around a shrine. Like, every single thing about that was saying, I don't think this is going to go well if you just YOLO, and unfortunately they do get wiped for it.
I don't think, did they not have the RP either? I think it was still down from when he killed a JRX.
It might have been. I'm not actually sure if it was up or not, but either way, as soon as they let off like that, the burrow was nice, but the thing is they just didn't have the follow-up. Like, no one was even close. That's why he kind of needed to lead with Epi, because the rest of his team couldn't throw any spells. They kind of just walked into this straight line for OG to get, like, perfect counter initiation, and then they just all died.
Yeah. And that's what it was, essentially. There was really great counter initiation. And now OG have pretty much they're getting a lot of items that they need to just finish this game off. And I say that, it's only 14 minutes in the game, but after that type of fight, Anna's going to have his Aghanim Scepter pretty soon. No Tail starting to get some serious farm. His Dragonlance is coming out. He could be a bit higher, but Anna and the Centaur S4 are doing a great job. They have a full pipe already on top of the Blink Dagger. He's almost level 12. So there's not really... I mean, Adfinem need a lot more time to farm here, and by that point, they could just really start pushing down towers with JRX as well as No Tail.
Yeah, I think Adfinem are starting to realize more and more that just going completely ham is not really the way to play the game. I think Sand King is pretty much at his strongest when he can either get a kill right away and just be done, or he can just play defensively and get a nice like epicenter on 2 or 3 heroes. Like, that's the ideal setup.
Right.
And the problem is now, like you mentioned, the pipe is up. So now that the pipe is there, his impact has already dwindled, and that could just be reason enough why they wanted to go for it. They're going to find Spartan here.
Yeah, he's done. Silence, they had the Spirit Breaker charge, and ulti. S4 now stampeding for Skylark. Good burrow away, but S4 ready to go with the stomp. He will miss. Skylark is able to dodge it with the Sandstorm. He's able to get out pretty quickly. Anna chasing the opposite direction that Skylark has gone in. He will be able to blink out underneath the guys of the Tier 2 tower. And now, this is what I think Adfinem need to do. They're splitting up the map. They're pushing bottom. They're taking the enemy jungle instead of trying to fight against OG. However, this will lead into OG taking a Roche.
They're feeling a little bit scared. They don't have any vision on their side of the map. They're only going to see Madara showing, basically. And I guess they did just drop that high ground. So now they'll have an idea of where Finem actually are.
Yeah.
They're respecting, again, the team fight. That's one thing that Finem have had in both games. Their team fight is still very good. It's just a matter of the way they initiate is what made it backfire so horribly the last time. And OG are still hanging around the Roche pit, just kind of slowly chipping it away. And it's giving Madara some time. You know, he's going towards a straight Deso. It's going to be kind of hard for him, I think, in fights without a BKB.
Yeah.
But if he finds the right time to go in and he gets a crit, then it could work. And I think it's also kind of like a necessary evil. It's like you want the magic immunity, but at the same time, you also need to do damage when you're really far behind, like Finem are now.
Yeah, I was going to ask about the BKB. It definitely seems like a necessity in this game. There's plenty of right click, but there's so much magical damage coming out from OG.
Oh, he'll buy it for sure if the game lasts long enough.
Right.
Like, this is not a game you can play without BKB.
Yep.
Like, Anna's going to have his Aghanims done. If you jump in at the wrong time as PA with just a naked Desolator, and you get hit by, like, a triple Starstorm, that's it.
You're done.
Like, you're just dead.
Yeah. So it's not
So
great.
it's going to be all about the finesse with him.
So it's going to be a little while before Finem really want to fight, but in the meantime, that will give OG plenty of room to work with when it comes to pushing. Again, we've talked about it. Now there's an Aegis included, and No Tail has just his almost completed Dragonlance. He's actually a little bit behind. We talked about it. His CS wasn't that great. He wasn't given the lane that he perhaps wanted. So he is starting to catch up now. They're going to be TPing bottom. Thug getting charged up. Madara and Skylark going to back up. Skylark hoping to cover the retreat. And they really shouldn't fight here. MNT is in the tree line. He has his own TP. There's only 3 heroes down bottom, actually. No Tail as well as Jerax aren't here. But it looks like they're going to get out regardless. Finem don't want to be in that position to fight.
Yeah, Finem have no intention of fighting this Aegis. This is like... This is a good way to lose real fast, is if you fight into a Draw Visage with an Aegis when you don't have BKB on your only core, really. It's really, really rough for them at that moment. And if they can buy the time, you know, the Shrine change might help them out, not being able to kill the Shrines until the at least one Tier 3 is dead. That might actually come into play this game for them, which would be kind of nice to see. You know, a change like that actually affecting some level of competitive play. But for now, it just seems like OG are going to get all the towers, and Finem are just going to watch.
And yeah, watch and farm as best as they can. I mean, that's really all they can do now. Anna finds the tower. His Aghanim Scepter was just completed not too long ago, and already he's up to 1,000 gold, so his Blink Dagger's well in the way as well. So not only that, he finds an Invis Rune, which I don't think he really needs, but at this point, it's him as well as the Centaur that are really doing the job for OG, leading the way in terms of net worth by a wide margin.
Yeah, I'm surprised how well the Centaur safe lane actually did. And S4 even went like a greedier route than I would have expected. I mean, the Hood isn't a bad item for the hero in this game. It just delays your initiation potential, that's all. It lets you farm. Obviously, the Pipe's great because it's a Sand King and a Lina and, you know, Magnus Shockwave and stuff like that. But even delaying his Blink by buying that item, he still managed to have a huge impact.
Yeah. Speaking of Blink Dagger, again, there's no BKB for PA yet, but Spartan has picked up the much-needed item. Do you still wait for that BKB before you start fighting? Do you wait for the Aegis, perhaps? You just keep farming?
If they go Tier 3, I think you potentially try to fight. If they're not going to go high ground, I think you have to wait for BKB. Or look for an opportunity to split them up. That's like the only other way. If you take a 5-on-5, you're not going to win it as Finem. You need like an amazing epi. Even then, like we mentioned, the pipe is already up. The heroes are building, very tanky. Gonna see the Centaur ulti here.
Yeah, Skylark has his Blink, good burrow, but he burrowed into the entire enemy team. Laguna Blade will not do that much to Anna. Arrow's gonna hit on the MNT. Sand King somehow has eluded this death, I think. He's gonna be able to burrow out, but he still is gonna get chased down by Centaur. No Stampede, his Blink is up in 8. Meanwhile, Skylark's Blink is up, but he's gonna get destroyed by the Starstorm. The Centaur Conqueror is not needed, so 2 dead. And yeah, that's not great for Finem.
Well, I mean, at the very least, Madara's out on the map. You know, he's doing something. Sometimes this game, OG have been so proficient at like applying that pressure that Finem just aren't getting anything anywhere. But this time, you know, Madara and Spartan are next to each other. This is pretty much what you want to see when you have a melee hero plus a Magnus. You just want to follow around your core, literally just cast Empower on him and hope for the best.
They're going to get a Tier 2 tower out of this, which is pretty impressive considering how this game has gone for Finem. Whether or not he gets chased down is another story.
He's charged right now, so they're going to catch him. It's just a matter of if they're going to be able to kill him.
He's got Phantom Strike in 4, and Spartan... Oh, okay, Fly. All right. They're not going for it.
He only had the Drow. Drow is actually not the hero that kills PA.
Yeah.
That's not a thing.
No MKB. So, not for a while anyway. He's going to go
He might just
Hurricane
go
Pike.
he might go Silver Edge after Hurricane Pike instead of MKB.
Yeah.
I think it's a more solid build-up, gives stats, and plus, you know, it does allow you to split push if the game somehow devolves into ad Finem, like holding their high ground and stuff like that. I think it has more flexibility. So we'll see what his choice is.
Oh man, S4 is in the perfect position to counter-initiate this. They need another creeper. S4 is looking hard.
He's on the hunt.
Yeah, he really is. He sniffed something out, but he won't find it. I think they know that they're kind of off the map. The courier!
courier.
Yes! What was on that? It's 2,000 gold that just died. I can't
I
tell
think it
what
was the pike for no-tail.
Yeah, it was. You're right. It was the pike. Yep. Skylar getting charged again. Bro strike ready to go. Won't use it. S4 Stampede. They have at least the ultimate. No real charge stomp needed. They have the double edge to follow up, and that's more than enough damage. So Skylark has had a very rough game. I mean, he's died 5 times. He's getting charged all over the map. It's not a very easy
but
game
this
for
is
him.
the thing, right? When you're playing against Spirit Breaker and a lot of pro games, this will happen. You have to have a sacrificial hero just die so that your core can farm. Like, you have to have somebody showing on the lane so that the SB does not kill the PA.
Oh,
That's pretty much what you want.
Was a half second away from TPing, and then the Visage Familiar came in and just dropped right on top of him, and Thug will go down. Who we by the way, we haven't talked much about Thug. Madara also is very close to the enemy team, dangerously so. He will just Phantom Strike away and get closer and closer to that BKB. But Thug will die, working onto that Bloodstone, and he's getting pretty close. So
The one thing that Ad Finem do have to fall back on, and this is something that's going to benefit them a lot if the Aegis fades before OG actually... Oh, it's already gone. Never mind.
Yep.
So the Aegis is gone, which means that they can spam out the wave. They have, like, the Timbersaw Chakram, they have Lina, they have Magnus. Like, they can kill creeps very, very fast. And the longer they can delay, the better chance they'll have of getting that BKB done on Madara and getting that one wombo combo they need to actually turn the game around. Because as crazy it is to say, this game's not over.
right.
Like, if Madara crits like 2 hits in a row or something and an RP, or they catch like 1 hero and he's got a 10-second BKB, there's nothing really, defensively speaking, on some of the heroes on OG that's really going to save them. Like, there's a Midas on Spirit Breaker. Sure, there's Blink and Leap on the Mirana and stuff and the Solar Crest, but I think there's still a possibility for them to turn it. It's just going to be real hard.
Yeah, it's going to take some incredible team play. And while you were saying the game's not over, I was looking at the graph, and the numbers are bad, but you're right, it's not over yet. It's about almost a 15,000 net worth advantage for OG, which is considerable, but not insurmountable for Ad Finem, as they will smoke up together and head to this bottom lane. This might be the best opportunity for Ad Finem. They do not have Madara, so this is a 4-man engagement. Madara can TP there, but it would be to the tier 3. In fact, he's going to mid instead, and they're looking to find a target here, and it might very well be Anna, who's in the tree line in a great position. They know that everyone's off the map right now, and OG look like they're not trying to get caught in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, this is a very good play from OG. The unfortunate part was they didn't break the smoke, so they didn't actually know they were safe until just now. Somebody just poked their head into a ward vision for just a second, so now OG are fully aware of what's happening. Because when you show, like, your core and everyone else is missing on the map, there's pretty much only 2 possibilities. One, the enemy team smoked and they're standing behind him, or they smoked and they're running and trying to find a pick. So just really good discipline from OG, dodging the potential turnaround there. But BKB's almost done on Madara, so this will be the true showing. If the BKB fight goes badly, this game it's pretty much over. Yeah. Like, they need that 10-second BKB to give them something. They either need, like, a big ticket kill, they need to try to secure the next Roche with it, even get a couple of towers, you know, whatever. But something has to be done with it.
I mean, he's close, and a lot of other items are coming out for Ad Finem as well. They have a 4-staff almost done for the Sand King. You're looking at, we just saw the Bloodstone completion for Timbersaw, and he already has his Hood of Defiance, so if he wants to go into a pipe, he can. Another 4-staff being completed by Magnus. So this game, like you mentioned, it is not out of the woods just yet for OG, but they can finish it off sooner rather than later. Looks to be a Orchid, interestingly enough, for the Dry Ranger. Bloodthorn probably coming for No Tail at some point in the future here.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice. I think it's really strong against actually all the other heroes besides PA this game. So it's really good against Mag. It's really good against Timber because he doesn't have a Dispel yet. Same for Lina because he went Ether Lens. And then Sand King as well. Like, no one has a way to dispel the silence except for the PA. Mm-hmm. So most games where you would say, oh yeah, True Strike's great, but Madara has a 10-second BKB now. It's actually more for everybody else, I think, at this point. And of course, if the fight lasts long enough, it's still good against PA too.
Yeah. We'll wait and see when that Orchid comes out. Interestingly enough, I'm not sure how you feel about this. Anna did pick up a Maelstrom on the Mirana, so going more of that right-click route later on down the road.
It's pretty standard, actually.
Yeah.
Like, if the game keeps going, oh, Madara
Oh,
might have to pop that BKB.
he has his BKB. Arrow comes in at the perfect time, and I think he might fall here. Absolutely. Too much damage. They'll find Magnus as well. Spartan's able to stick up, but won't survive. That is a godlike spree for Ana, and dead for 45 seconds for both Madara as well as Spartan. And it looks like S4 and the crew are hightailing it right down mid.
That was not the dream.
No.
It's really hard to justify BKBing that charge because, like, first off, they don't have any vision. So all he sees is a charge. He doesn't have any idea what's behind it. So you're kind of like playing that game of, do I actually want to use my 10-second BKB here just to run away? Because if I do, there's no way we're defending our base. But now he's dead. So he'll be up with a 10-second BKB, and maybe that will be the time for Ad Finem to defend.
I don't know. They might just get this tier 3 tower, and that's it. I think they're going to back here, so they have to be careful. Chakram is just doing the best that it can, but that is the tier 3 tower gone, which means that shrines now are the next objective for OG. It's chainsaw.
Yeah, that was a really unfortunate pick, but I do think that BKBing there would probably have still resulted in them losing a building, because I don't think the way that fight started off that they were going to win.
Right.
And if he BKBs, then there's no way he has it when OG walked down mid. And that could have actually even been a worse position, honestly, depending on how things rolled out. So Roshan going to be up soon. OG looking to just secure it once again. And Ad Finem still looking for a way back. Do they have a smoke on anyone? Doesn't look like it.
No. Do they have one in the... I think they should have one in the... yeah, they have one in their stash in their shop if they want it, but...
I would say if there was a time to go for some kind of crazy play, that this would be the time, because it's before the next Roche,
right?
And you know it's going to be soon, and you have your fresh BKB, you have Epicenter, like all the tools that you need are available to be able to potentially win a fight.
They definitely could use a kill here or some engagement of some sort that goes in their favor. But like you mentioned, no smoke has been picked up. They're going to head into their own jungle. There's no observer ward for the... Oh, RP Spartan?
Oh,
no,
dear.
He went for it and missed it wildly. Skylark going to come in, gets gusted, but the Burrow Strike goes at the same time. Can they get no-tail? The Hurricane Pike comes out now. They need something here. Ana would be the perfect option if they could get it, but now here comes the rest of the squad. Fly and S4. They've already lost 2. Madar's BKB is up. He wants no-tail. Crits are coming, but it's not enough. He has another Stifling Dagger, and the gust comes out, and Madar will fall. Dead for 51 now with his BKB down. Thug is on his own, doing the best that he possibly can. Now getting chased down. They have the Frost Airs going to work. The Stomp is up next. And that's a double kill for S4. That may very well lead into more buildings here, Andy.
Yeah, I think this is when they just walk down mid. Even when Madara revives, his BKB is not going to be up. And without that item, he simply can't fight.
Yeah.
It's too difficult. Too many stuns. Fly played that pretty much exactly how you would expect. He just goes right on the PA after BKB's popped. And unfortunately, like, they missed the RP, obviously, but it got even worse after that because there was no BKB on the PA, and then he went forward and then got Hurricane Piked away, and then BKB when he had no way of closing the gap. So he actually wasted like the first few seconds of the BKB, and that was pretty much the strongest charge that he's ever going to get. So now Roshan secured again here from the side of OG, and S4 being literally incredibly tanky. If they Solar Crest him with his Shivas, I don't actually think he can be killed with physical damage. At least not in this game.
He's pretty tanky. He is pretty.
Like, they're gonna
impossible to
need
deal with.
they need like an MKB and a Basher minimum, I think, for Madara to be able to kill that hero. And that's a lot of gold that he just doesn't have right now.
He's not anywhere near that at this point. They are trying to fight outside. Aegis is up and ready to go from Rana, and I think this is the point where OG, they try to find a pick. If not, they could just siege high ground with the Hurricane Pike up onto No Tail. We'll see if they can get some more building damage here. They would like to find a pick, preferably, but...
Oh, they don't need a pick, OG. They can just walk up high ground.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the net worth. It's ridiculous
it's
right
insane.
now.
Ana jumping in, going for the Star Storm. The Raindrop helping, but
He's
maybe
dead.
next time will still die. The Burrow Strike doesn't hit. He's able to leap away. There's going to be the RP, but he can't skewer away. He was A-toast up. Now there's the Soul Assumption. He's sitting with that Solar Crest on him, and these buildings are dying too damn fast. The melee racks will certainly fall. Madar's going to come in with the Empower, looking for No Tail. Does get the crit. Meanwhile, Skylark jumps in. Burrow Strike, good skewer back, but that's onto S4. He's very tanky. Skylark very low. Stampede will come out, and again, Ana just goes to work with his right clicks. And GG is called 29 minutes into the game, and OG looking much better in this game than in game number 1.
Oh, man. That early game from Ad Finem was an absolute mess. But that Spirit Breaker actually completely destroyed them. Like, they say, okay, you're going to play this position for super greedy farming jungle, Magnus. We're literally just going to charge your PA. That's all we have to do. We just charge the PA. The Sand King's going to farm, don't care. You know, top lane, Thug's going to farm, don't care. Just charge the PA. It puts so much inherent pressure on the supports of Ad Finem. Like, MNT and Spartan both, they were trying to do everything they could. Like, they were even hanging around mid for a little bit, trying to stop it from happening. But the PA was just too fragile in the mid lane. And the jungle hero just ended up not being able to contribute enough. He didn't get enough farm fast enough. I don't even think we saw, like, one really good RP that did anything, because they only ended up getting 6 kills. But yeah, it just got out of control, and then you know what happens from there against Drow Visage. It's just all downhill.
Especially when it's OG doing their job, and they were able to take buildings rather quickly. They played safe. They got the kills they needed to get. But the interesting thing, Andy, is that we have a game number 3 coming up, and this is where elimination mode gets the most fun. There's a lot of heroes that are still available, but a lot of them are wonky. So do you expect to see any kind of crazy heroes in this next match? Anything you're interested in?
You know, it's crazy because Dota's gotten to a point where there's not really that many crazy picks left.
Right.
I mean, the craziest hero that I can think of a team picking is like a Brewmaster or a PL, but that's because I think those heroes are crap. So even then, they can still work. It's just my opinion that they're not super strong. But yeah, I am excited to see a third game because I think that this was not Ad Finem's strongest showing by any means, and maybe they got a little bit too crazy with what they were trying to do.
Yeah. That's especially after that fight that they had at the shrine at the beginning of the game. It didn't really go well for them, but we'll wait and see.
Oh yeah, that was the real bad fight.
Yeah, let's fight up into high ground. Didn't work out for them, but there still is this third game to come, and of course, this is probably one of the best series. We'll see OG versus Ad Finem. It's a rematch of the Boston Major. We'll take a quick break, and we'll jump back in with our panel momentarily. Stick around, guys.